the Blocs' own Rhéal Fortin, tries to come to grips with Crystia Freeland's role in the invocation of Canada's Emergency Act. He wants to understand what economic impact was made on Wellington Street in Ottawa that led to this extreme measure. Freeland struggles with her French translation. Fortin responds with, "You think it's more important to speak in French than answer the question." Freeland knows how to skate around and waste time. Fortin isn't buying it. Here's the clip.
5 minutes.
Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Minister, welcome to our committee. I'm happy to learn that you will produce the documents we have requested. I do understand that some things have to be done by the department, but we were also sworn in to receive confidential documents as well as confidential information, and we cannot carry out that mandate if we do not have all the information or documents we need. So I hope you are also aware of that on your side. So I believe that you have the good faith required to make sure that we receive the documents we need. That being said, I would like to say something. Did you participate in the discussions at the Cabinet of Ministers before the proclamation of the Emergencies Act? We had discussions at the Incident Response Group. This is a group that brings together some key ministers. And you discussed the need for the Emergencies Act, whether it was necessary or not. We discussed the situation. I talked about the economic impacts, serious economic impacts, and we discussed how we could put an end to the blockades and illegal occupation. When did those discussions start or take place? At what time? The discussions of that committee are public, and we published the opinions of every session of that committee. And it's at that committee that you decided to proclaim the Emergencies Act? Since that is information that is already public, it was a very serious decision, one that was taken following a cabinet meeting. I heard you say that the blockades, the occupation of Wellington Street, caused significant damage to the Canadian economy. Could you explain to me how blockades right here on Wellington Street could affect the Canadian economy? Good question. Thank you. I will say that the impact was two-pronged. First of all, there was a serious impact on the economy of Ottawa and the Ottawa region, which is important for you as an MP from Quebec. According to an article published by Radio Canada, it quoted, I'm sorry, Madam Minister, I don't want to be impolite. We really don't have enough time. I don't want you to talk about the article. Maybe my question was not well explained. In your opinion as a minister, why would demonstrations on Wellington Street have an impact on the Canadian economy? What is the link between the two? I don't see it. Maybe it's my problem with my poor level of French, but I will try to explain. You could use the simultaneous translation. Well, it's important. I believe that you agree with me that it's important to speak in French. But what is more important is that you answer my questions, Madam Minister. In any case, there were two types of impacts. First of all, on the impact of the broader Ottawa region, and secondly, on the reputation of Canada. Canada's reputation the reputation of Canada as a state that is politically stable. That's very important for investments, and all that was affected by the occupation and the blockades. Tell me, what was done? Because a while ago you said that the act was invoked as a last resort because it was necessary. That's what you said. This is my question. What did you attempt before? Because when you talk about the last resort, you must have tried something that did not work. So what did you initially attempt to put an end to the demonstrations on Wellington or to prevent them? You spoke already to other political colleagues and to the other senior officials of the public service concerning the direct work that was done by people responsible for public security. But I would like to underscore the fact that in my capacity as finance minister, for every day that the occupation continued and the blockades, it was a bad day for the economy. Before the Emergencies Act, Mr. Fortin. Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Freeland, a preliminary remark. You told Mr. Brock a while ago that a judge will consider what he was doing as badgering. I would say a judge would tell you, with all due respect, enough is enough. Answer the question being asked, because we are wasting our time. It's been about an hour that we've been asking you questions. We asked you what was done before the Emergencies Act was adopted. You did not respond. We asked you why you waited for so long. You did not answer. Senator Carino asked you if the United States offered you tow trucks. You still did not answer. It's very disappointing, Madam Minister, and I do not know what we will do to implement the mandate that the House gave us. We need information and documents, not an artistic spectacle. So with all due respect, we would want answers to our questions. Maybe let me ask you one last time. What was attempted before the Emergencies Act was passed? You already spoke with many of my colleagues and officials from other departments. I would like your answer, Madam Minister. Could you answer the question or not? Do you know what was done before the Emergencies Act was proclaimed? I was about to answer your questions. You are still dragging your feet. I have a minute left. I know you can drag on for that time, but you know it's very exasperating. Very good. Tell me, if this were to happen again tomorrow morning, if we had blockades on Wellington Street once again, what would be done differently to make sure that the situation doesn't go on forever? Do you have a quick answer for me? We will take the actions that we took against the illegal blockades, and I'm hoping that we will not have that again. Well, we are hoping. Nothing has been planned to change the situation. One of your colleagues told us that if things were to be done again, he will intervene, they will intervene faster to prohibit any blockades of Wellington Street. Why were you not able to stop that last year? Concerning the Ottawa Police Services, you are asking a question about what they did or what they did not do. That is not a decision that had to be taken by the federal government. Madam Freeland, you said you took part in discussions, and you said the Emergencies Act was adopted as a last resort. I took down last resort because you said it was necessary. So if it was necessary and it was a last resort decision, it means you tried something before. In all due respect, you are just saying nonsense. If it was a last resort decision, what other measures did you attempt before? Mr. Fortin, once again, with all due respect, you asked me a specific and detailed question about what the Ottawa Police Force Services did, not necessarily something that had to be done by the Department of Finance. Well, it looks like we're in a competition.
3 minutes.
Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Freeland. It was known in advance that the convoy was headed for the Hill. Maybe there were other things at the Ambassador Bridge and so on, but for the Parliament Hill, we knew in advance, and police officers were worried. At some point, did someone from Cabinet intervene with the police officers to ask that measures be taken to safeguard Parliament. Was that done? Mr. Fortin, as you very well know, it is not normal. 20 seconds left, Madam Minister. It is not all right for the Minister of Finance to go speak with Ottawa Police Services to make recommendations on how. What I understand, Madam Minister, is that nothing was done to prohibit. Okay, what was done to dismantle the blockade besides proclamation of the Emergencies Act?